This is Jamie Albertson. This is my Campaign for Life video diary series number 3. I want to thank the community for all of your love and support, for sharing my story with your friends and family. We've raised $6,730 of a $10,000 goal. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and soul for digging deep into your pockets for me and for helping and supporting me on my journey and helping me afford the treatments that I desperately need. I want to educate the community a little bit about breast cancer and talk about the study medication at the University of Minnesota that I'm on. Did you know that 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer, and that would be 44% of the population is affected by this disease currently, and it keeps rising. The type of breast cancer I have is an environmental type, so it is not hereditary. It doesn't have anything to do with genes. Something in the environment triggered this, or some things. I'm sure there were many things. And so when I went in to find out about my diagnosis, and my oncologist explained to me, I cannot cure this. I can only, she didn't talk about what she could do at the time. She just said she couldn't operate on it. She said the tumor was deep in my armpit and was tangled around blood vessels and nerves and therefore could not be operated on. She also explained that she could not cure this problem. So I went home, number 1, believing I was going to die, and number 2, imagining chemotherapy and throwing up and being sick, and just the terror and horror of the thought of putting all of that poison in my veins for the time that I had left. And so when I went back to my oncologist for a follow-up appointment to talk about the treatment options, and she offered a study medication, I was really interested in what she had to say. She offered me a study medication that suppresses the hormones. And since the receptors on my tumor are 100% receptive to estrogen and 80% to progesterone, when she talked about putting me on a hormone suppression therapy, it made a lot of sense to me. Even though I'm not a scientist, that makes more sense than conventional chemotherapy. So what she put me on was, I agreed to be in the study, of course. There are 10 of us in the study in the country, was tamoxifen, which a lot of people are probably familiar with. This is an ovarian suppression therapy that suppresses the estrogen coming in from the ovaries. And then the next one is called Ibrance, which is hormone suppression therapy coming in through the endocrine system. And this also has a little bit of chemotherapy, but it's not very intense. As you can see, I still have my hair. I'm still able to eat. I still have a pretty good appetite. I'm living a fairly normal life considering all of this, which I'm grateful for. So Ibrance is not a medication, though it is very effective, and I've tolerated it really well. It is not standard of care for women. So it costs, if a woman wanted to use this for her breast cancer, it would be $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month for this. I don't have to pay $10,000 a month, thankfully. I am on the study, so I do not pay for this at all. So my being on the study, there are, like I said, 10 of us in the country on this study, and we're the first humans, because they've used this Ibrance and tamoxifen in rats and sheep. We are the first humans to use the medication. And I'm glad to do that, to be part of science, so that I can prove to the drug companies and pharmaceutical companies, so that we all can prove that this is the best standard of care for women with breast cancer. There are a lot of research studies that show that the breast cancer is actually fed by conventional chemotherapy, in that it imbalances the body so much that the estrogen rises from the stress of that. And so it really isn't a good standard of care, but unfortunately is, for most women, still standard of care. And again, not a cure, it's not something that's going to help them in the end, really. So, and I'm not talking about stage 1, I'm not talking about stage 2, and I'm not even talking about stage 3. I know you're saying, hey, I had a friend and she used conventional chemotherapy and radiation and she's doing great, and all of these things. I'm talking about metastatic breast cancer. I'm talking about breast cancer that is spread through the body. It's a completely different world. I had stage 1. So I know there's a big difference. So I'm talking about that. Like, chemotherapy does not cure metastatic breast cancer. And so in my next video, what I want to talk about is the other alternative medicine that your money is going to, and all of the things that I've learned from other cultures and other places in the world, and even here in this very city of Minneapolis, about how I can actually cure this disease. And I am not uncurable, and I can heal. And I will tell you all of the ways that you are funding me and that you are helping me to partake in these absolutely beautiful and amazing opportunities right here in this city for healing and curing metastatic breast cancer. Love and peace to all of you. Please share my video and keep supporting me. And I can't wait to tell you about all of the amazing things. Next up, laughter yoga. Peace.